give you a little bit more, just to because I believe that if you own a house, you should be ready for maintenance. You need to know in some way, shape, or form. You need to know the difference between preventative maintenance and emergency repairs, right? And that you can do something to prevent something serious from happening. It saves you money. Okay. Let's keep going. I talked about on page 80. I talked about downspouts, right? Make sure your house has them and they're not crushed, right? So some houses I walk by and they're completely crushed, like somebody drove over them, and the water just cannot drain away from the house. And I think you can all just use your imagination to kind of tell me what would happen if the water pools up around you. You see, if you have most of the time the rains we get are not crazy, but every once in a while you get this crazy storm, right? Like 80 millimeters in like less than an hour. If that water pours down here, I would be surprised if your basement doesn't get some water in it. Right? So you need to be ready for the one time when it's going to go out of control. So these downspouts should be at least 6 feet long away from the house. Okay, let's keep going. We talked about a sump pump. This is on page 81. It's in your basement at some point, in some space in the basement. Usually it has like a plastic lid, like here, if you look at the bottom of this page, this is kind of what it looks like. Not all of your houses have one. The older houses, you know where this water goes? It goes straight into the sewer system. You don't have a pump. But you know what the danger is of that? If sewer backs up, you might have a, I can't say it on camera, but a bad situation, right? Starts with an S. So anyways, the new houses, they don't, because the city sewer gets overwhelmed if rainwater just goes into that sewer system. They don't want that anymore. So most houses have a separate sump pump, and that pump just pumps it into your yard, and it goes trickles down into the ground, and then it kind of cycles through a bunch of times. Okay, keep going. Um, Another thing that you can talk about is window wells. What are window wells? Here's some pictures. You got to make sure that those window wells are clean, no debris in it. There should be gravel in there. And guess what? If you were to look at this window well, there's a pipe underneath. You don't see it, but water technically drains down that pipe and it connects to a system under your basement. It kind of eventually ends up where the sump pump is. So if this is all clogged up, guess what can happen, right? If it rains a lot, the water will come into your house through the window. So you got to watch out for that. Keep going. Page 83. I'm going to highlight this part because it's an important term. Proper grading around your house. Remember in grade 11 you talked about grades? Grading at slope? Maybe, maybe not. But basically, you want to make sure that the ground around your house is pitched away from the house. I think that it would make sense to you, but this is actually a preventative maintenance item. Make sure that the grading around your house is moving away from the house, is pushing water away from your house. So that's another thing. Keep going, page 84. If you like, if you like something different, you could inspect the roof and your attic on a regular basis. Maybe I should say here, check for missing shingles. Okay. Um, Believe it or not, okay, you see this tab here where my pencil is pointing? That is actually a very common thing. After a big storm, one of those tabs may have flipped open. And did you know that under these shingles there are nails? that keep the bottom layer in place. If that nail is exposed, that's where water can come in. It might just be a little bit at first, but it adds up. So this is an easy fix. You go to Home Depot, you get a little bit of tar in like one of those guns that you use for caulking and sealing the bathrooms or whatever. You put some under there, flip it closed, it's good to go, right? You'll be good for a while. Another preventative maintenance item would be to go up on the roof once a year and check if your shingles are curling. This is at the beginning of, your shingles needing to be replaced. If you're like me, I would replace it right here. I would probably call 3 companies, get a quote from each company, maybe get the cheapest one, and then get it replaced. Because you know what? In the summer right now, you're probably waiting months until they come and get your roof. So if you wait until it's bad like this, and water is actually leaking down into your house, they might say, sorry, we can't come out. We're so busy, because everybody else wants their roof done as well. Because they can only really do it during the summer, right? Spring, summer. So preventative maintenance would be check your roof regularly for missing tabs or curling shingles. That you're done. You get a full mark for that. I don't know if you ever will go into your attic. Go to page 85. This is what your attic most likely looks like. There's like a lot of, they call this blown in insulation. So they just have a machine that blows it in, and they kind of like just stack it, 3 feet high. Your older houses probably have it lower. So my house was only a foot high. We're going to talk about that a bit later. So I added another 2 feet. So now it's 3 feet deep in here. So it keeps the heat in as well. Okay, so this is your attic. I also check if there's any sign. If you look at these boards up here from the inside, don't go in there on a day like today. It's super hot in there. But early spring, winter is a good time. If I see stains, like water stains, I'm worried, right? Like water is coming in somewhere. Keep going. Another preventative maintenance item would be to clean your gutters or the eaves troughs to avoid ice dams. What do you think gets into the gutters on a regular basis? Every fall, you have leaves in there, right? Don't let it build up, because it clogs the whole system. And then in the spring, you have what we call ice damming, right? The water is going to try flowing into the gutters, and it just won't take it, and it flows over. And sometimes it goes under. Sometimes it goes under the shingles like this and into your house, right? So you want to make sure you clean your gutters. That's a preventative maintenance item. It would prevent you from costly water damage. I think you get the picture. Look at this. I actually took this picture on my way home from work one day. That was bad, right? Like these ones. That's whoever the owner is. Come on, man. Clean your gutters. You can also rake some of the snow off, just before spring, so that the snow close to the gutters is gone, and then it melts and it allows the water to trickle in there. That's another preventative mean. So if you want to know what it's called, is rake off snow from gutters, if you want to have a specific. So you cannot say I didn't talk about preventative maintenance, right? Yeah. Maybe I give you too many. I'm guilty of that. Another one. When you look at your furnace, this right here, this is big. I would highlight this. Replace filters every 3 months. That is a preventative maintenance item. Why do you think that would be preventative maintenance? The filter is literally like, remember the masks we used to wear? Well, it's harder to breathe in. So if you have a filter that's clogged, your furnace is going to work way harder to try to heat your home or cool your home, right? So you're overworking your furnace, and so the motor can go, other components get start going, so it prevents it from premature failure, if you want to put it that way. Let's keep going. This is my favorite. Not many people do this one. Clean your AC, the fan unit outside. Because if you look carefully, your AC unit has very thin fins, like aluminum fins that go this way, and they get all filled up with debris, like pollen, or when you mow the lawn, it just fills it up with gross stuff. You can I just say something here because I don't want to be held liable. Make sure before you do this, there's a power switch to your AC. Right? Don't just blow water. I mean, it's okay technically because when it rains, it gets wet, so it's made for it. But just for safety, make sure you turn off the breaker to it. It doesn't just mean go inside to your thermostat. It means like to the breaker panel, you turn it off, and then you flush it from the inside out, not from the outside in, because air is actually drawn in from the outside. So you want to flush it on its way out. So that's what I do every spring, and it just makes it run way more efficiently, and it cools your house way better that way. One more thing is preventative maintenance again, to install a catch basin or a pan under your water tank, your hot water tank. Anybody have a leaking hot water tank ever in their house? Maybe you didn't notice. You had one? Was it bad or was it just leaking? But your basement didn't flood? It did? Yeah. So these things will rust. Like there's like no way around it. And so sometimes it's just a small leak, and sometimes you're at work and just goes like it literally explodes, and it's like water everywhere. So if you attach this catch basin here, it's probably like $20 or $30 at Home Depot. And you put it under your hot water tank, and then there's a hose. You see that hose here? It goes to, right? It goes to the drain. Somewhere there should be a drain in your basement, and it goes there. So if it's still bad, the leak, this will probably not completely stop it from happening, but it will help. Just note, you won't be able to lift this thing if it's full of water. So you got to drain the hot water tank, and then it's very light. And you put it under. You got to watch out because there might be pipes attached to it. So you maybe call someone to do it if you're not sure how to do it, or Google it, YouTube it. But that's a preventative maintenance item. Okay, we're done with preventative maintenance. So if I ask you, give me 2 preventative maintenance items without looking back, you should be able to be like, okay, change the furnace filter regularly. Okay, got it. Another one could be clean the gutters in your house regularly. Done. That's preventative maintenance. So I'm going to ask, the province might ask you, I might ask you, so you got to be prepared for that. Just have 2 examples. This is also big, energy efficiency. Make sure you highlight this because um, I wish I could talk about every component, but we're just going to talk about a few. If you ever want to make sure you save on electricity or energy, you either look for the Energy Star logo or the high efficiency logo. These two tell you for sure that the appliance you're buying is the most efficient to today's standard. How can you reduce electricity? Because that's one of the ways our energy source, I should say. You could, upgrade is a very, very good word to use. Upgrade light bulbs to LED. Use timers for your lights outdoors. or your block heaters. Like when you plug in your car, you don't have to have it all night, right? You just have to turn it on like 2 hours before you're going to go to work. So you save a lot of electricity. Anything that generates heat eats up a lot of electricity. Okay, so you want to try to minimize it. So using a timer, install switches that have motion sensors. This one right here. Okay. I've installed a couple of these in my house because it's almost a full-time job running after my kids and turning off the lights in the basement, right? So I just installed some of those where they hang out. Um, choose appliances that have the high efficiency symbol or logo. That'll do it. And here you have timers. Um, right here, this is what I did with my outdoor light switch. I went from just a regular flip switch to one with a timer. And you can actually set it that it's just going to turn on half an hour before dark, and then it turns off half an hour before the sun rises the next day. It just automatically knows what to do. So timers are very good at saving you electricity. Okay, so have two of these when it comes to saving electricity. Have two of these on your study sheet. Keep going. I know I'm flying through this, but I just don't have the time to. Heating, if the province asks you specifically heating, here's what you can do. You upgrade your furnace to a high efficiency furnace. So if you have one of those old ones, like that are from the 80s, probably not very efficient. Okay, it burns a lot more. You can also upgrade the insulation in the attic, walls, or basement. Okay? Yeah, yeah. Two, I would say basically two preventative maintenance. Two, how to save electricity. Two, how to save heating. Um, upgrade your windows to triple pane. Right? Do you know what that means? Some of us, right? These are the old ones, double pane, right here. Triple pane is right there. How can you know that the house you're buying or your house has triple pane? It involves your phones, which you really like, right? Just turn on your flashlight on your phone and just hold it against the window. And if you see three lights reflected on the window, you know it's triple pane. If you only see two, it's double pane. If you see one, it's just single pane, right? I don't think many houses nowadays will have single pane windows. But that's something I would definitely say it's a good investment. You can install a smart thermostat. You know these nests or whatever, like they keep track of movement in the house. It actually learns your behavior, which is kind of creepy, but it will adjust the temperature in the house based on whether or not it senses movement uh, in the house. Programmable, those are right. They're programmable. You kind of just set it to what you want the temperature to be at a certain time. Okay. And another one, use space heater instead of increasing the thermostat setting. I'm just gonna say this: put stuff down that just works on its own. And this is what I mean by that. A lot of students will say, I'll just turn down the temperature in my house. But the province is saying, well, you might forget. You might not do it, right? You might not do it all the time. So this guarantees that that's going to happen, right? These changes, like if you change your windows, you are going to save energy for the rest of the life of the house, okay? So they want those kind of changes, okay? To be specific. Keep going. So heating, electricity, you got that? Two of each. One last one is water. Reduce water consumption. What you want there is Energy Star or Water Sense. This is your Water Sense logo right here. So if your toilet that you're buying has that, or if you're buying a shower head, or if you're buying a water tap for your kitchen or bathroom, if it has this logo, it's gonna save you water and money. Okay? All right. How can you save water? I'm just gonna give you a few that are no-brainers here. Let me look at because these are from the city of Winnipeg, by the way. I think this page is good, but let me see. I think it's on the, yeah, let's go to page 95. Replace your old toilet with WaterSense label models. This is on page 95. Check your toilets for leaks. This is actually preventative maintenance, but also saves you water. So you could use it for both. Anybody know how to check a toilet for leaks? Actually fun. You can pull a prank on your Mawa. You know how to check it? Kind of. What would you do? I'm just curious. Well, you don't want to say in front of the class? It involves food coloring. Okay. So red is my favorite, but you don't tell anybody in the house, right? So you just open the tank and just put food coloring in here and wait like 5 minutes or so. There should be no red coloring in the bowl itself. If there is, that means that the ring, the seal that keeps the water in the tank is broken and it allows some of the water to leak into the bowl. That should not be happening. That's like a silent leak. All right. So if no red is in there, that's good. You just leave it. Somebody else is going to use the toilet after you and they're going to flush and they're going to freak out. So that's a good. So it's a prank and you save water at the same time. So if there's a leak, obviously call someone and make changes accordingly. Install WaterSense labeled shower heads. Um, I think that's it. Oh yeah, here. Install low flow bathroom faucet aerators. You know what an aerator is? You can actually screw it onto, like if this is your faucet, you actually can screw it onto the end and it just inserts bubbles into your water. So if you have one of those faucets that has lots of bubbles in it, that's actually a good thing. It saves you from wasting a lot of water. So make sure that's another way of saving water. Let's keep going. We're good? So how do you save water? Upgrade your toilets to WaterSense approved toilets. Uh, insert WaterSense shower heads and install aerators on the faucets. Keep going. All right, so now we're going to do a little bit of math. These ones have creeped themselves into several exams. They're actually not that difficult. You just have to be ready. Go to page 97. I want you to read that and see if you could figure it out, at least to a certain degree, without me helping you. Okay? So I'm going to give. Okay. This is the intent of these types of questions. You ready? They're gonna present to you a person is trying to upgrade something, and they want you to calculate how long it would cost for that improvement to pay for itself. So they've done solar panels before. They've done something like an appliance. It may include water, electricity, you name it. But they'll give you enough information you can figure out how much you will save. Okay, and then they will ask you how long it will take to save enough to pay it off. So here we go. So in this case, it's solar panels. They cost 15 grand. By the way, before you do any upgrades, always check City of Winnipeg for rebates. Because right now I heard it on the radio, there's a lot of incentives from the government that you get cash back on solar panels. They're really big on that. Okay. So the electricity bill is 160 a month on average. Due to snow and cloudy days, she was told that she needs to purchase electricity. She needs to purchase electricity for 2 months out of the year. So 10 months she's not having to buy, but 2 months she has to buy. How much will Jamira save on electricity cost in 1 year? So how much will you save in 1 year? So I will say this. Savings will be 10 months times $160, right? Would you agree with that? Because 10 months she's not having to pay for electricity. So that is $1,600 per year. So she has to pay for 2 months, but 10 months it's free. Like, so basically you're saving $1,600 in a year. Does that make sense? Okay, so I can't guarantee you that it's always going to be the same way. You're going to have to figure out. Here's the beauty, guys. If you get this wrong, that you do B right, you still get the marks for B. So never give up on these ones. Keep going. Okay. How long in years would it take for the savings to pay for the solar panels? Okay. So I will go like this. Years will go total cost divided by the savings. Okay, that's basically what I will do. Savings per year, I should say. So I basically take the 15,000 it cost me to install the solar panels, and I'll say, hey, I'm saving $1,600 per year, and that's it, right? So 15,000 divided by 1,600, so that would be 9.375 years. I believe the province would be okay with that. Like, time is, you can go partial of a year, right? Portion of a year. So this is how long it would take for the solar panels to pay themselves fully. And then after that, you just keep saving 1,600 flat, right? Like, keep it in your pocket. Mind you, electricity rates go up every year. Not by much, but they do go up. So you're probably going to save more down the road. So this is one of those exercises. Okay, let's do the second one down here. I'm going to challenge you to try that right now. Try it. Same idea. Ready? Page 97. Let's do that second one, and then I'll hand it over to you here. So I bought a house, realized 3 toilets are old, and they used 15 liters per flush. Pay attention, guys, okay? He decides to purchase a new high-efficiency dual flush. Have you heard of dual flush toilets? They've got the half flush, the full flush, for $150 each. You watch some DIY videos, and we'll do the job himself. Mr. D estimates that installing the new toilets will save about 15% of his current water consumption, which is about $1,200 annually. What does annually mean? Per year, yes. So it's not monthly, it's already per year. Determine how much you will save in a year. All you have to do is take the 15%, turn that into a decimal, multiply by 1,200. That's it. Okay. $180 a year. That's how much savings that will represent. So you're saving, I'm saving $180 per year approximately. How long will it take for the savings to pay the initial cost? How much did I spend on toilets? Cost will be 3 times 150, correct? Because you bought 3 toilets at 150 each. That's $450 was spent on the improvement. So then you go years, you go $450 divided by 180. What do you get there? That's 2.5 years. So in 2.5 years, I made my money back, and then I continue to save for the rest of the life of those toilets, which is pretty cool. Okay. You seem so excited. One more thing, because these are easy marks, but for some reason, students seem to forget. I'm letting you go after this. I'll give you some time to either work on your quiz correction, or I will give you the mock test, which I will lay out. 102. Go to 102. One-time costs versus ongoing costs. One time, what are some big one-time costs? What's that? Down payment. Okay, yeah. This is on page 102. What else? Land transfer tax. That's right. Land transfer tax. What else? I didn't hear. Lawyer fees. Okay. Anything else? Appraisal fees. You know what that is? If you need to get something appraised, you need to figure out what the value is. So for a house, who do you think comes out to do that? A real estate agent, right? They come out and they look at your house and they look at how many bathrooms, how many bedrooms, how old is it, where is it located, right? And then, so appraisal fees, survey fees. That's when a surveyor has to come out and actually see if your property is within its boundaries. Most houses in Winnipeg, that's not a problem. But sometimes, like farming properties, a farmer just decided, you know what, my shop is going up right here. I feel like this is about the border right here. And then all of a sudden they find out years later that it's not, right? So that's that. Ongoing costs. Some big ones that we've calculated. We've done property taxes. That's ongoing. Insurance. Okay. You can actually use heating bill. Utilities. Utilities are like water, electricity, cable, etc. That's what we call utilities all in one. You could say internet, right? Internet costs, so forth. Okay. So that's a reminder to not forget about those. If you want to collect everything in one place, if you go to 103, some of you are copying this still. So if you go to 103, I give you another chart to collect all your advantages and disadvantages for both buying a home or renting a home. Okay. So if you want to bring it all here, bring it all together, 103, there it is one more time. Okay. But that's up to you. You should have some pros and cons already on your study sheet at this point.